is text 21 of the first chapter of Balakanda of Valmiki Ramayana. तस्याभिषेकसंभारान् दृष्ट्वा भार्याथ कैकयी पूर्वं दत्तवरा देवी वरमेनम् अयाचता विवासनं च रामस्य भरतस्याभिषेचनम्. Noticing the ingredients for his coronation, his wife Kaikeyi Devi, who had been granted a boon by King Dasharatha, requested him to grant that boon now. And the boon was exile to Lord Rama and to coronate Bharata. So, yesterday we had discussed in towards the end that Dasharatha Maharaj he desired to perform the coronation of Ramachandra. He wanted to declare Ramachandra to be the prince apparent of the throne of Ayodhya because he was completely convinced about the capabilities of Rama, and he also got the same feedback from the ministers, saintly people, and the citizens in general of Ayodhya. So when he had decided to coronate Rama, at that time, here it is said, Tasyabhisheka sambharan drishtva bharya atha Kaikayi. Kaikayi, the youngest of the queens of Dashrath Maharaj, when she saw that uh, Dashrath Maharaj had made all kinds of arrangements for the Rajyabhisheka of Rama, at that time, what did she do? Purvam Datta Varadevi Varamenam Ayachata. Purvam Datta. Vara means benedictions. The benedictions that were given to her previously were now asked by her. And what were the benedictions that she asked? Vivasanam cha Ramasya. Vivasanam means to send Rama away to exile. And Bharatasya Abhishechanam, to coronate her son Bharata as the Yuvaraja, the future king of Ayodhya. So we can see here that Lord Ramachandra was asked to go to the forest. That was the one of the boons asked by Kaikeyi. So, what did Ramachandra, what was his response when he was told that he will be sent to the forest? Just one day before, he was told that he's going to be the king of Ayodhya, and after that night, the next day, Kaikeyi calls him in the presence of Dashrath Maharaj and informs him of the benedictions given by Dashrath Maharaj to her, according to which he has to go to the forest for 14 years. So if we ordinary people like us, if we were in such a position that somebody says you have to go to the forest because your father has given such a benediction, such a promise to me, what would be our response? We would happily say that Father has given the boon to you. I have got nothing to do with that boon. Why should I go to the forest? But actually, Ramachandra did not say like that. That is what makes Rama a great role model for all of us. Let us see what Ramachandra says or what does he do. स सत्यवचनाद् राजा धर्मपाशेन संयतः विवासयामास सुतं रामं Dasharatha Priyam. Because he wanted to be truthful to his word, King Dasharatha was bound by the noose of Dharma, and so he exiled his dear son Rama. Now, here we can understand actually, Dasharatha Maharaj was definitely not interested in sending Rama to the forest, but he was actually helpless because he being the king of Raghukula, and this Raghukula has got a special uh, quality. All the kings of Raghukula, they have maintained a good track record of living up to their commitments, of keeping the word of honor. And therefore, even though he was not interested, even though his heart broke as soon as he heard this from the lips of Kaikeyi, that Rama should be sent to the forest for exile for 14 years, he was greatly, in fact, it is described that as soon as he heard this, it was as though somebody attacked his heart with a thunderbolt. He immediately actually felt unconscious. He could not even hear that Rama will be going to the forest. That was the kind of affection that Rama had Dashrath Maharaj had towards Rama. But Satyavachanad Raja Dharma Pashena Samyataha. Here Narad Muni is saying Dharma Pashena Samyataha. Dashrath Maharaj was bound by the ropes of Dharma because it was his Dharma to keep up the promise that he had given to his wife earlier. Therefore, he actually had to send his dearmost son Rama to the forest. So it was a helpless situation for Dashrath Maharaj. So let us see what happened next. Text 23. Sajagamavanam veera प्रतिज्ञाम् अनुपालयन् पितुर्वचननिर्देशात् कैकेय्या प्रियकारणात्. So here it is said, Rama, though a hero, Viraha, despite his father's order to please Kaikeyi, upheld his promise and went to the forest. So Ramachandra agreed. He immediately agreed without any difficulty. In fact, there was no change of expressions of Ramachandra's face. He maintained the same expressions when he was told that he would be coronated the next day. And when he was informed that he will be going to the forest, he has to go to the forest according to the boon given by Dashrath Maharaj to Kaikeyi. He maintained the same facial expressions. There was no change in his expressions. So this is the symptom of a Sthita Prajna personality, about whom Lord Krishna talks about in the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Sthita Prajna means a person who is situated in transcendental consciousness. He is not elated when he comes across happiness, nor is he depressed when he comes across a sad situation. For him, both happiness and sorrow of this material world are the same. Such a person is called transcendentally situated. He is called a Sthita Prajna. And Lord Ramachandra is displaying his quality of being equanimous, Sthita Prajna. So, Sajagama Vanam Viraha. Even though he was Viraha, he was a great hero, he was very powerful, and the whole city of Ayodhya was on his side, he could have actually forcefully taken away the throne of Ayodhya. Still, Pratignyam Anupalayan, in order to keep up the word of honor of his father, Lord Ramachandra, Sajagama Vanam, he actually entered the forest. He left Ayodhya and went to the forest. Pitur Vachana Nirdeshat, in order to keep up the words given by his father. Therefore, we see Lord Ramachandra is called Pitru Vakya Paripalaka. He got this title, he got this special title because he went to the forest in order to keep up the promise given by his father. Right? So, from this, there is one important lesson that we can learn. See, in our life also, we come across happy situations, we come across sad situations. We come across situations which we would have never expected to happen in our life. And at that time, what is our response? That decides our consciousness. A person's greatness can be tested only in difficult situations. When everything is going on fine, we may sometimes make a show of being a good person. But when adversities come, when difficulties come, what will be our response? What is our reaction at such situations? That really determines how good we are in following dharma, in keeping up our principles. So, Ramachandra, he was definitely liked by everybody for his wonderful qualities. We have discussed those qualities yesterday. But now, the true test of his qualities is being showcased here in this segment of the pastimes of Ramachandra. That he was asked to go to the forest, he was denied his rightful claim to sit on the throne, even though he was qualified. So he did not become agitated. He did not rebel. He did not utter a word of, agitation. He simply smiled and accepted this as a great opportunity. In fact, Ramachandra said that, "Oh, my dear father, through this order of yours of sending me to the forest, you have actually done a great help to me." What is that? I can go to the forest and I can associate with saintly people there. I can get sadhu sangha in the forest, and I can be of some help to those saintly people. So, uh, when life throws lemons at you, you should make lemonade. You should make lime juice, lemon juice, is what it is said. That means you should, when we have a, uh, when we are situated on the platform of spiritual understanding, we don't get disturbed when adversities befall us. In fact, we use every such adversity as an opportunity to make uh, more and more advancement in our life. That is what we can learn from Lord Ramachandra's response. Text 24. Tam vrajantam priyo bhrata lakshmanonujagamah snehad vinaya sampanna sumitranandavardhanah भ्रातरं दयितो भ्रातु सौभ्रात्रम् अनुदर्शयन् tam vrajantam. So when Lord Ramachandra went to the forest, tam vrajantam priyo bhrata lakshmano anujagamaha, his dearmost brother, bhrata, brother, Lakshmanaha, Lakshmana, Anujagama, he said, I shall also follow you. I shall also come with you to the forest. Why? Sneha, because of his affection towards his brother. And he was Vinaya Sampannaha. Out of great humility, he requested Ramachandra, please take me also with you. I want to come with you and serve you. I don't want the Ayodhya where there is no Rama. My Ayodhya, my palace is where Rama is. So I want to come with you. Right? And in fact, here it is said, with this decision of Lakshmana, was his mother unhappy? Sumitra Devi, was she unhappy? No. Sumitra Ananda Vardhanaha. In fact, her happiness increased when she got to know that her son, Lakshmana, has decided to follow Ramachandra to the forest. In fact, Sumitra Devi tells, before sending Lakshmana with Ramachandra, Sumitra Devi says, my dear son, from today, you please understand, you please think that Rama is your father and your sister in law, Sita Devi, you should consider her to be your mother, to be same as me. And the forest in which Rama and Sita are going to dwell, you should consider that to be Ayodhya. And you please go and do wonderful service to Lord Rama. So Sumitra Devi, here she is actually a great, we understand the great quality of Sumitra Devi, that she is very happy to send her son Lakshmana to the forest. Right? And that's why it is said here, Sumitra Ananda Vardhanaha. Her happiness increased when she got to know that Lakshmana is also going. Bhrataram Daito Bhratuhu Saubhratram Anudarshayan. Endowed with humility, Rama's brother, dear brother Lakshmana, followed him, who had set out of affection. The increaser of Sumitra's joy, who was so dear to his brother, did so while revealing their brotherly affection for each other. So we can see in Valmiki Ramayana great standards or ideals of human relationship are established in this great epic Ramayana. Today we see how relationships have become more of exploitative. It has become more of uh, deriving benefit from the other person. There is no real love and real affection for each other. It has all become a transactional thing. So that is the symptom of Kali Yuga relationships. Or we can say symptom of relationships of people who are not basing their lives on the Vedic principles, on spiritual principles. Whereas we can see here, Sumitra is very happy to send her son for selflessly serving Rama, and Lakshmana, out of great affection, he is following Rama and Mother Sita to the forest. And we know that how, for the next 14 years, Lakshmana, he actually set the standards of selflessly serving the Lord in the forest. During the daytime, Lakshmana would actually help both of them, Rama and Sita, to gather food items and to gather fuel in the forest for cooking meals. He also constructed cottage for them. He would bring water for them. He would do all kinds of menial services. And during the night time, when Rama and Sita would take rest, Lakshmana would stay awake, guarding them. So he sacrificed his personal comforts. He never slept even for a moment during the entire 14 years of exile. So, in this way, Lakshmana is teaching us that if we want to become established in dasya, in the servitude of the Lord, we must be ready to sacrifice our personal comforts. So, in Mahabharata, we see Arjuna is called as Gudakesha, the conqueror of sleep, right? In Ramayana, that title goes to Lakshmana. He is Gudakesha. He conquered sleep and he was fully absorbed in serving Lord Rama during the exile. Text 25. Ramasya dayita bharya nityam prana samahita janakasya kule jata deva mayeva nirmita. Here it is said, Rama's dear wife was always equal to his very life and engaged in doing good to all. She was born in Janaka's dynasty and was as if created by the Lord's internal potency. Deva Mayeva Nirmita. So here it is, this shloka describes about Mother Sita's qualities. So she is Ramasya Dayita, she is very dear to Ramachandra, and Nityam Prana Samahita. She is always engaged in serving the Lord, and she is uh, equal to his life, right? So there is one song written by Rupa Goswami about Radharani. Radhe Jaya Jaya Madhava Daite. The same word Daita is used here. Daita means very dear. So Sita Devi is very dear to Ramachandra, and she is the life of Ramachandra, and she is born in Janakasya Kule Jata. She is born in the dynasty of Maharaj Janaka, who is a great Rajarshi, who is also one of the 12 Mahajanas. We talk about 12 Mahajanas listed in the Bhagavatam 6th canto. They are great authorities of devotional service, and Maharaj Janaka is one among them. And Maharaj Janaka's, in his dynasty, I mean, she became the daughter of Janaka. She is the daughter of Janaka, and she is actually Deva Mayeva Nirmita. She is actually the internal potency of the Lord personified. So these are the qualities of Mother Sita. Text 26. Sarvalakshana sampanna narinamuttama vadhuh Sitapyat anugata Rama Shashinam Rohini Yatha. So a very beautiful analogy is given here. So about Mother Sita, Narad Muni continues to tell, Sarva Lakshana Sampanna. Mother Sita was endowed with all auspicious qualities, just like her husband Ramachandra. Because we know Ramachandra and Mother Sita, they are eternal companions from the spiritual world that descended to the material world to enact the pastimes, to instruct human beings. Bhagavatam says, Martyavataram tu Martya Shikshanam. Why did the Lord appear in this material world? Martya Shikshanam, in order to instruct human beings about various principles of being ideal in human form of life. So therefore, this mother Sita was Sarvalakshana Sampanna, and she is described here as Narinam Uttama Vadhuhu. She is the best among all the women. Mother Sita, she is the best among all women. Why? Because Sitapi Anugata Ramam. She also decided to follow Ramachandra to the forest because she said, how can I live without you? It is my duty to serve you. You are my master. And wherever you go, I should follow you. And in fact, she says, my dear Ramachandra, please allow me to also come with you because in the forest, on the path, there will be thorns and there will be pebbles and sharp stones, and that will pierce your soft lotus feet. So, what I want to do is, I want to go ahead of you and I want to pick out all those thorns and remove all those sharp stones before you step on that way. In this way, I want to serve you, O Rama, O my Lord. Please allow me to also come with you. And therefore, she also accompanies. And the analogy given by Narad Muni here is Shashinam Rohini Yatha. Just like Rohini, the star, is always along with Shashi, moon. Rohini is always following the moon. In the same way, Mother Sita also followed Ramachandra to the forest. Text 27. Paurairanagato duram pitra dasharatena cha Shringibera sutam ganga kule vyasarjayat guhamasadya dharmatma nishaddadhipatim priyam. So here, what happened after they actually started from the palace towards the forest that is described here? Ramachandra was followed by the residents of Ayodhya city for a long distance and by Rama's father Dasharatha. Then Rama, who was of dharmic nature, who is the knower of dharma, dismissed his charioteer Sumantra at Shringiberapura on the bank of Ganga when he met his dear devotee Guha, the chief of the Nishadas. So here, actually, when Ramachandra was going along with Mother Sita and Lakshmana, Dashrath Maharaj actually he could not bear separation from Ramachandra, and he sent his minister Sumantra along with Ramachandra, saying that you please take Ramachandra on the chariot, take him till the boundaries of our kingdom, and then speak to him, convince him, and bring him back to the palace. And I will be waiting to see Ramachandra, my life, return back to the forest. Oh, Sumantra, please do this one thing for me. Otherwise, I will not be able to sustain my life. In this way, Dashrath Maharaj instructs Sumantra, and Sumantra, he actually drives the chariot of on which Rama, Sita, and Lakshmana were seated. And Sumantra, when they reached for a long distance, even the residents of Ayodhya were following the chariot. They said, please don't go, my lord. Without you, we cannot live. From this, we understand that Ramachandra was not to be made as the king just because he was the eldest son of Dashrath Maharaj. But we also understand that he was quite popular. He was a people's person. All the people of Ayodhya, they were very happy that he would become the king after Dashrath Maharaj because they had full confidence. in the qualities because they had observed Ramachandra's perfect behavior and qualities. All of these are described in detail in the Ramayana. But here we see how the citizens of Ayodhya, out of their affection for Ramachandra, they also followed Ramachandra. So, until they reached a place called Shringiberapura, which was in the outskirts of Ayodhya city, where Ramachandra met his childhood friend Guha. Guha was actually the chief of the tribal people in the forest, and he also happened to be the friend of Ramachandra. From this, we understand Ramachandra did not actually think that since he is a prince, how can he make a tribal person as his friend? No, there were no such thinking on the part of Ramachandra. He considered anybody who has a good heart, a good character like himself, he would always befriend such people. So Guha was the friend of Ramachandra, whom they met on the bank of Ganga in Shringi Berapura. And then a very interesting thing happened. Before that, let us read the next shloka, text 28. Guhena sahito ramo lakshmanena cha sitaya. So what happened? All the residents of Ayodhya, especially the male members, they all accompanied Ramachandra. They followed the chariot of Ramachandra. They said, "We can't live without you." And Ramachandra tried to convince them in so many ways. He said, "See, if you leave me, if you leave the Ayodhya city and come with me, what will happen to my father? He will feel so bad. He will feel even more guilty. He's already suffering because of guilt that he's sending me to the forest. Now, if you leave that kingdom, my father will be very upset. Please go back." But still, they would not listen. And then he would say, "See, you should go back as a Gruhastha. You're all Gruhasthas. It is your duty to take care of your family. Your wives and children are shelterless without you. They are in Ayodhya. It is your duty to go back and take care of them. They're all dependent on you." So, in this way, Ramachandra was trying to convince, but still the residents of Ayodhya would not listen to his words because their heart was actually with Rama. They could not imagine to live in Ayodhya without Ramachandra. So this is an example for uh, you know this is an example for following the Lord. Being fully devoted to the Lord, being surrendered to the Lord. So what happened when they reached the banks of Ganga? That night, Ramachandra said, "Oh dear Ayodhya Vasis, let us all rest here this night and let us continue our journey tomorrow." So they all slept, and Ramachandra also slept. But in the midnight, when all of them were sound asleep, that time Ramachandra wakes up slowly. He wakes up Lakshmana, he wakes up Mother Sita, he also wakes up Sumantra, who had come as a chariot driver, and he says to Sumantra, "Please take the chariot a little far away, right? Don't make noise. Don't drive the chariot. In fact, you should pull the chariot, and the horses also should separately be taken there. Otherwise, the residents of Ayodhya will hear the sound of the chariot and they will all wake up and again they will follow us and they will not let us go to the forest. So, therefore, please do this." And this kind of an arrangement was done, and they all stealthily, they all silently left the place and they continued their journey into the forest. And that is where they go to the Shringaveri Pura, that is where he meets his childhood friend Guha. So when next day morning, when all the residents of Ayodhya wake up, to their utter disappointment, they see that Rama has already left. You know, initially they were so determined to follow Rama, but because they could not check their sleep, they got they missed the opportunity of following Rama. So from this, the devotees explain that if you want Rama, then you should forgo Arama. So if you are worried about your personal Aram, even though you are determined to follow the Lord, if we are attached to our personal sense pleasure, or if we are attached to our own personal comforts, then we cannot actually achieve the Lord. We will miss the opportunity to serve the Lord. So, this is an interesting lesson for us to learn. A person who is trying to make spiritual advancement, following the Lord's instructions to serve Him, must be very alert, because any if a person becomes if he is not alert, he loses the opportunity to serve the Lord. And that's what happened with the residents of Ayodhya. And finally, they all went back to Ayodhya, being disappointed. And they were all waiting. And it is said in Valmiki Ramayana, for the next 14 years, there were no festivals celebrated in the entire Ayodhya city because Rama was not there. In fact, even the families did not observe special ceremonies or get togethers or any of that of kind of celebrations in their houses, because they felt that without Rama, there is no joy, there is no reason for celebrations in our life. This was the kind of determination, this was the kind of consciousness all the residents of Ayodhya had. They were perfectly devoted to Lord Ramachandra. Text 29 and 30. तेवनेन वनं गत्वा नदीस्तीर्त्वा बहूदकाः चित्रकूटम् अनुप्राप्य भरद्वाजस्य शासनात् रम्यम् आवस्थनं रम्यम् आवसतं कृत्वा रमामाणावने त्रयः देवगन्धर्वसङ्काशस्तत्र ते न्यसवन् सुखम्. So Guha, what did Guha do? He ferried the three personalities, Rama, Lakshmana, and Mother Sita, across the Ganga. Guha did that. He ferried them. And after that, they went to a place called as Chitrakuta. The three crossed over the river Ganga of abundant water, went from one forest to another, and on the order of Bharadwaja, reached Chitrakuta. So they actually met Bharadwaja Rishi on the banks of Ganga. Bharadwaja Rishi is a great sage, and Ramachandra, along with the other three personalities, including Guha, they all met Bharadwaja Rishi. And Bharadwaja Rishi advised Ramachandra that Chitrakuta is a nice place for you to go and stay. So it's a very nice place. You go there and you stay there. So on the order of Bharadwaja Rishi, the three personalities went to Chitrakuta, and Lakshmana constructed a pleasant and appropriate cottage in that forest. Hmm. And like Deva Gandharvas, they lived there happily. So most of the years of their Vanavasa was spent in Chitrakuta. Now, one interesting thing to note here, when Lakshmana constructed a cottage for them to stay in the forest, Ramachandra got the sages there who were present there in the forest, the Brahmanas, and duly they performed a yajna, uh, which is performed, which is called Gruha Pravesha Yajna, the housewarming ceremony, right? So from this we understand, even in such a forest, even in such a situation, Ramachandra did not give up uh, principles. He did not give up the prescribed methods of the Vedas. This is something very interesting. If he was in Ayodhya, he could have actually, you know, conducted so many rituals and all those things. But even in the forest, Ramachandra observed this yajna, and he also, after that, after performing the Griha Shanti Homa, only then Ramachandra and Mother Sita entered that Parna Kutira. the hermitage at Chitrakuta, which was constructed by Lakshmana. Text 31. Chitrakutam gate rame putra shokaturasthatha Raja Dasharatha Swargam Jagama Vilapan Sutam. So as soon as Ramachandra went to Chitrakuta and the minister of Dasharatha, Sumantra, came back to Ayodhya to inform Dasharatha that I tried my best, but Ramachandra did not come back. He wanted to go to the forest 14 years because he wants to keep up your words. Therefore, I have come back without Rama. And hearing this news, Dasharatha, what happened to him? While Rama had gone to Chitrakuta, overwhelmed with distress for his son, King Dasharatha attained the heavens while lamenting about his son. So Dashrath Maharaj gave up his body in lamentation while he was thinking about Ramachandra. In the entire Ramayana, there are many personalities who are described who gave up their body thinking about Rama in their last minute. Dashrath Maharaj is one among them. Then we shall see Jatayu. Jatayu also, he gave up his body fighting for Rama to protect Mother Sita. And we also see uh, Shabari. She gave up her body thinking about Ramachandra. And we also see later on Vali. Vali also, in the presence of Lord Ramachandra, you know, he gives up his body and he says, I'm very fortunate that I have been personally killed by you, O Lord Rama. And in this way, there are so many personalities throughout Ramayana. You will see that they show us the perfection of giving up one's body. The perfection of giving up one's body is to remember the Lord at the time of death. Anta kale cha mameva smaran muktva kalevaram. This is what Krishna also says in the 8th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. Ante narayana smritihi. The success of one's life is to remember the Supreme Lord at the time of death. And we see Dashrath Maharaj in great lamentation out of separation from Ramachandra. While thinking about Rama, he gives up his body. Text 32. मृते तु तस्मिन् भरतो वसिष्ठ प्रमुखैर्द्विजैः नियुज्यमानो राज्याय नैच्छद्राज्यं महाबलः. After Dashratha had died, while being coronated as the king of the Brahmanas headed by Vasishta, the greatly powerful Bharata did not desire to become the king. Actually, you see, when Dashrath Maharaj passed away, none of his children were near him. Rama and Lakshmana had gone to the forest, and Bharata and Shatrughna, they were actually in Kekaya Desha, in the house of their grandfather. So that means Dashrath Maharaj, even though he is the emperor, even though he, with great desire, performed Putra Kameshti Yajna and got the four sons, even though the four sons were like his life and soul, especially Rama, but in the last moment, none of his sons were there near him. A lesson for all of us. At the time of death, uh, no material arrangements can actually help us, right? As Sripada Shankaracharya says, Bhaja Govindam, Bhaja Govindam Mudamate, Samprapte Sannihite Kale, Nahi Nahi Rakshati Drukun Karane. All our so called material arrangements, bank balance, our so called relatives, our so called friends who were always with us at the time of parties and celebrations, when we really need them, they may not be there with us. But only Govinda, only Krishna will be with us, provided we learn the way of constantly remembering Him. So when we are hale and healthy, if we can chant the Lord's names, chant the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, practice remembering the Lord nicely when our body and mind are in a good situation, then by the Lord's mercy we can remember Him at the time of death and quit our body. Right? That is the success of human life. In fact, we should practice Krishna consciousness in this in this way that any moment death can come. Oh, next moment I can meet my death. So am I ready to remember the Lord at the time of death? So therefore, let me nicely prepare. Let me always remember the Lord. Let me engage in intense devotional service. Let me use every opportunity available to increase my Krishna consciousness. This should be the thinking of a devotee. So when Dasharatha Maharaj passed away, news was sent to Bharata, of course, in a sensitive way. The news did not say that telegram went to Kaikaya Desha, but it did not say that Dashrath Maharaj has expired because that would create a lot of difficulties and emotional difficulties for Bharata and all the other people over there. So intelligently, Vasishta Muni called for Bharata to the kingdom of Ayodhya back, and then all the things were discussed with him. It was revealed to him what happened, and Vasishta Muni had actually preserved the body of Dashrath Maharaj in a tank full of oil so that it does not undergo decay. And then when Bharata came back, the final rites were performed by Bharata for Dashrath Maharaj. And then Vasishta Muni said, now it is your duty to become the king of Ayodhya and to take care of the kingdom because your father is not there. Your his elder brother has gone to the forest to keep up the words of your father. So now you have to become the king, and for which flatly Bharata refused. In fact, after getting to know that his mother was the cause for sending Rama to the forest, he becomes so disgusted with his mother. He says that from today you're not my mother. How could you even think that I would be sitting on the throne in the presence of my elder brother Rama? That means you never got to know what is my real heart. So you have created a big black mark for the Surya Vamsha. You have done a very heinous act by sending my brother to the forest, and you are also the cause of my father's death. So therefore, and he said, actually, I should have killed you, but if I do so, my brother Rama will be very unhappy with me. He will be displeased with me. Therefore, I desist from doing such an act. Otherwise, so therefore, I am giving you up. So immediately he said, "You're no more my mother." He was so much shocked by hearing this. So what did he do after that? We all know he went to the forest. Somehow he wanted to convince Ramachandra and bring him back to the kingdom. So let us see what happened. Text 33. Sajagamavanam viro Ramapada prasadakaha. The hero reached the forest to please the lotus feet of Lord Rama. This hero, Bharata, he went there to actually please the lotus feet of Lord Rama, to get the lotus feet of Lord Rama to the kingdom of Ayodhya. But Ramachandra said, no, I cannot come. So he said, okay, at least you give me your padukas, right? So, Datva tu samahatam, Gatva tu samahatmanam, Ramam Satyaparakramam, Ayachad Bhrataram Ramam, Arya Bhava Puraskritaha. Approaching the very great soul Rama, who was heroic in being truthful to his words, Bharata begged his brother Rama with a noble attitude. So here it is said, Arya Bhava Puraskritaha. So what was the mood of Bharata? He was Arya Bhava Puraskritaha. Prabhupada explains the meaning of the word Arya, as we discussed yesterday also. An Aryan is a person who understands or who knows the progressive values of human life. He leads his life not for sense gratification, but for fulfilling the dharmic values, for achieving the ultimate perfection of life, which is to please the Lord. That is Arya Bhava Puraskritaha. So Bharata did not definitely want to enjoy the kingdom of Ayodhya. So therefore he, with great humility, he asked Ramachandra to please come back to the kingdom and take charge of his kingdom. Text 35. त्वमेव राजा धर्मज्ञ इति रामं वचो ब्रवीत् रामोऽपि परमोदारा सुमुखः सुमहायशः न चैचत् पितुरादेशाद् राज्यं रामो महाबलः. So Bharata told Rama, Tvameva, he said, Tvameva Raja Dharmajna. O Rama, you are the knower of Dharma and you are the king. I am not the king. You are the king. Though Rama was extremely generous with a happy face, of very great fame and of great strength, he did not want the kingdom because of his father's word of honor. So Ramachandra was extremely pleased with this attitude of Bharata. The Lord will be extremely pleased not with our extravagant offerings, not with our you know you know the way we dress, not with how we uh, conduct you know so many things in life, not with the externals. The Lord will be happy with what kind of consciousness we have developed. Have we developed this real servitude, right? We always, whenever we get an opportunity, imagine, we can always do an introspection as we study the entire Ramayana. We can put ourselves in the place of these great personalities. If we were in the place of Bharata, what we would have done? Oh, we would have thought it's a nice opportunity. Anyway, it is the rule that eldest son only becomes the king. But now you see a nice opportunity for me. The eldest son becomes the king. So now eldest son has gone to the forest. मेरे लिए road clear हो गया. So I can sit on the throne and I can enjoy the royal comforts and position of a king. You know, that is how maybe we would have thought if we were in Bharata's place. But Bharata said, "You are the king, O Rama." So when Ramachandra heard this, Ramachandra was very happy. But he said, "I cannot accept this kingdom, O Bharata. If I do so, then that will create a black mark to our the name and fame of Raghukula. So therefore, I have to keep up the word of honor of my father. Therefore, I shall stay back in the forest. You please go and take care of the kingdom of Ayodhya. You take care of the kingdom of Ayodhya on my behalf, and I shall come and take it back from you after 14 years." Text 36. पादुके चास्य राज्याय न्यासं दत्त्वा पुनः पुनः निवर्तयामास ततो भर निवर्तयामास ततो भरतं भरताग्रजः. Bharatagraja means the elder brother of Bharata, Ramachandra. Bharata's elder brother Rama then gave his shoes, his padukas, as his representative to rule the kingdom and repeatedly sent back Bharata. See, here it is said, Punah Punaha Nivartayam. Nivartayam Asa means to send back. Actually, Bharata was not at all ready to go back. Bharata wanted to take Ramachandra with him. He was so determined. In fact, he had brought all the necessary paraphernalia to conduct the Rajyabhishekha for Lord Rama in the forest. And his desire was to take Rama from the forest as the king of Ayodhya. That was his plan. He had brought Vasishta Muni and other sages along with him. He had brought his three mothers along with him. He had brought a big army so that Ramachandra will go in his full majesty as the king of Ayodhya, duly coronated back to Ayodhya. That was his plan. But when Ramachandra refused, he said, "I cannot come." Bharata was deeply hurt. But Bharata was consoled by Ramachandra. He said, "You please take care of the kingdom. It is our duty now. It's a difficult situation. Just like it is my duty to stay in the forest to keep up my father's words, it is your duty to now go and take care of Ayodhya because there is no king there, and you must take care on behalf of me." And then he begged the Paduka of Rama, and Rama gave it happily. And Punah Punaha, again and again, he said, "Please go back, please go back." And after so many times of saying, Bharata returned back with the Paduka of Rama on his head, and he went to Ayodhya and installed this Rama Paduka on the throne of Ayodhya. He said, "Ramachandra is the king. Even now, I am just taking care of the administration on his behalf." This is very important. This is exactly the mentality of the Pandavas also that is described in the Bhagavatam. They actually conducted the Rajasuya Yajna to establish Krishna as the supreme personality of Godhead, and Yudhishthir Maharaj and the Pandavas They governed the world. They conducted administration as representatives of Krishna. They would always consult with Krishna. What to do next? What to do next? What is your program of work? Oh Lord, please tell me. We shall assist you according to your desire. So this is the thinking of a devotee. It is not that a devotee should shun away from opulence, shun away from riches. No, pure devotees like Bharat Maharaj, as we are reading here, and Yudhishthir Maharaj, they were surrounded by all kinds of opulence. They were they were in power. They were holding big power, but still they never used their power, name, fame, position, and all the opulences for sense gratification. They always considered that they are ruling on behalf of the Lord. So this is the quality of Bharata, which we must really appreciate. Actually, Bharata, after installing the Padukas of Ramachandra on the throne of Ayodhya, he himself did not stay in Ayodhya in the palace, but he actually dressed himself like a Vanavasi, like a forest dweller, like his brother Rama. And he constructed a cottage in the outskirts of Ayodhya in a place, in a village called Nandigrama. And there he was living in the cottage in a very simple, humble way. He was lying down on the ground, and from there he would actually conduct the affairs of the Ayodhya city, the entire administration. He took care from that hermitage. He said, the opulence, the enjoyment which is not there for my Lord, I don't want to enjoy those. So this is the mood of Bharata. We have three more verses. We may extend another 10 minutes. Request you to kindly stay on. Text 37. Sakamam ana Sakamam anavaप्यैव रामपादा उपास्पृशन् नन्दिग्रामे अकरोद् राज्यं Ramagamanakankshaya. Since his desire was not fulfilled, Bharata ruled the kingdom from Nandigrama while serving Rama's shoes every day and while hankering for Rama's arrival. Here, two words, two expressions are very interesting here. Ramapadav upasprishan. He was serving the padukas of Rama every day, being situated in Nandigrama. That means he declared that Rama is the king of our territory, of our kingdom, and I am his servant. Look, I am just serving his lotus feet. I am serving his paduka. And then, what was his mood while he was in Nandigrama, taking care of the affairs of the kingdom on behalf of Rama? Rama Agamana Kankshaya. He was always waiting eagerly for 14 years to get completed so that Rama comes back and Rama, and he'll be able to see Rama face to face, and he will be able to see Rama seated on the throne and ruling the kingdom. And he thought that till then there is no peace of mind for me. There is some kind of you know a guilt that is haunting me for the next 14 years, because it is because of me that my mother sent Rama to the forest. This was always piercing his heart for 14 years, and that is why he did not accept any of the opulences of the palace. And therefore, we always talk about the sacrifice of Lakshmana, but equally great is the sacrifice of Bharata also. Lakshmana served the Lord in his presence. He followed the Lord, accompanied the Lord, whereas Bharata served the Lord when Rama was away. So that's why it is said Bharata, he's called Bharata because he was carrying on his shoulders the bhara. Bhara means the weight of the responsibility of the kingdom on behalf of his father. And he also had to initially face humiliation because some of the citizens of Ayodhya were accusing him. They were thinking this is all the plan of Bharata to usurp the kingdom. So he had to also face those kinds of emotional criticism and It was not easy for anybody to face that, but he faced all of that. He thought that this is an atonement for the sin committed by my mother, and I shall face all of this. And very soon he actually, everybody in Ayodhya got to know what is the real intention of Bharata. Bharata was not interested in getting the kingdom. So now that's why and that was very evident when he constructed a cottage and stayed in Nandigrama, worshipping the Paduka of Rama and carrying out the administration of the kingdom from there. And he was Rama Agamana Kangshaya. He was waiting for Lord Rama to return back. Text 38. गते तु भरते श्रीमान् सत्यसन्धो जितेन्द्रियः रामस्तु पुनरालक्ष्य नागरस्य जनस्य च तत्रागमनमेकाग्रो दण्डकान् प्रविवेशः. So Gate too, after Bharata departed, taking the Padukas, what happened? That is described here. After Bharata had departed, the splendorous controller of his senses, Sri Rama, who was truthful to his promise, considered that the city dwellers might come again, and so on. Alas, with a fixed determination, he then entered the Dandaka forest. Actually, I told that earlier. I told major portion of the Vanavasa of Rama was spent at Chitrakuta. I was wrong. I'm sorry. It was spent in Panchavati near Nasik. Presently, it is in Nasik. So Ramachandra, after giving the Padukas to Bharata, he thought, see now Bharata has come. The news will spread in Ayodhya that Ramachandra is in Chitrakoot, and it is quite close by to Ayodhya. Now all the residents of Ayodhya every day will start coming here, and again it will create a lot of disturbance in their personal life. So we should not live in Chitrakoot anymore. Thinking like this, Ramachandra, along with Mother Sita and Lakshmana, they departed to the forests of Dandakaranya. Dandakaranya forest is situated in the current Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh and some parts of Orissa also. So those forests that they are called Dandakaranya forests. So Ramachandra, here it is said, he is Jitendriyaha. He is a great controller of his senses. Even though he is a great controller of the senses, Ramachandra had actually become helpless in front of Bharata's unmatched affection and surrender and love for him. So if all the residents come and similarly start crying, then it will be a very difficult situation for me to manage. Ramachandra thought like this, and he said, let us all go to Dandakaranya forest, which is quite far, and the residents of Ayodhya won't be able to come there. So thinking in this way, Ramachandra departed to Ayodhya. So what do we understand from all these wonderful incidents? We see the affection of Bharata, his selflessness. These are all lessons that we have to imbibe in our lives. As Krishna says, Bhoktaram Yajna Tapasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram Suhrudam Sarvabhutanam Jnatva Mam Shantim Richati. Lord Krishna says this in the 5th chapter of the Bhagavad Gita. When can we achieve real peace? Real peace is achieved not by chasing after the wealth and opulence in this material world, not by planning and scheming for personal sense enjoyment, but real happiness and peace can be achieved when we understand Krishna is the real enjoyer. Krishna is the real proprietor. Krishna is my real well wisher. Therefore, let me dedicate all my opulences, whatever Krishna has given me, let me dedicate them in the service of the Lord. Let me use every opportunity. Let me use my body, mind, and senses in the service of the Lord. This is what Bharat Maharaj is teaching all of us, right? That is the perfection of human life. Text 39. Pravishyatu Maharanyam Ramo Rajivalochanaha Viradham Rakshasam Hatva Sharabhangam Dadarshaha Sutikshnam Chapi Agastyam Chagastyam Bhrataram Tatha. Now here, once they go to Dandakaranya forest, what happened? After having entered the great forest of Dandaka, the lotus-eyed Rama, here it is said, Ramam Rajiva Lochanaha. This expression comes again and again in Ramayana. Ramam Rajiva Lochanaha. We have discussed about this yesterday also. Rajiva means lotus and Lochana means eyes. The Lord has got eyes which are as broad and beautiful as the petals of a lotus flower, right? And that is why he's called Ramam Rajiva Lochanaha. So the lotus-eyed Rama killed the Rakshasa Viradha and saw Sharabhanga, Sutikshna, Agastya, and Agastya's brother. So these are all the personalities whom he saw. In fact, as soon as he entered the Dandaka forest, we see in the very beginning of Aranyakanda, all the sages, saintly people who are living in the forest, they at once come and seek shelter of Ramachandra, and they say, very good that you have come here, Rama. This forest is infested with so many demons who keep troubling us. They come and harass us. Please give us fearlessness. Please protect us from the onslaughts of these demons. So many demons were killed by Ramachandra. Ramachandra assures them, do not worry, I shall assure you that I shall make this Dandakaranya devoid of all demons. And he kills the demons. Viradha, one of the demons. And later on, we also see Khara, Dushana, many demons killed by Ramachandra. And then Ramachandra meets various sages, prominent among whom are listed in the shloka. Just to remind all of you, we are just reading the first chapter of the Balakanda of Ramayana, where Narad Muni gives a synopsis of the entire Ramayana within 100 verses. And he speaks these verses to Valmiki Muni. Later on, Valmiki Muni, by the blessings and by the empowerment given by Lord Brahma, he uh, is able to perceive all the incidents in detail, what happened in the life of Lord Ramachandra, and he expands on these 100 verses and composes the entire Valmiki Ramayana. That means he expands the 100 into 24,000 verses. That is what Valmiki Muni does. Here, what we are seeing is just the summary, the overview of the entire Ramayana. So, Lord Ramachandra met these sages, Sharabhanga, Sutikshna, Agastya, and his brother. So, these are all the different personalities whom Ramachandra met during his Vanavasa, and many more he met. Okay, text 40, the last shloka for today. अगस्त्यवचनाच्चैव जग्राहैन्द्रं शरासनं खड्गं च परमप्रीतः तूणी चाक्षय सायकौ. It was by the order of Agastya, sage Agastya, that Rama accepted with great happiness a bow, sword, and two quivers which could produce unlimited arrows and which Indra had given him. So, Agastya Muni is a great sage. Glories about him are described in the Valmiki Ramayana. He was so powerful that once upon a time he had actually swallowed the entire ocean into his, and he had kept it in his belly. He was so powerful. And such a great personality, Agastya. Agastya is also responsible for the birth of Kaveri River in South India. And there are many more such things, wonderful things that he did. So Ramachandra, he seek the blessings of Agastya Rishi. As I said, Ramachandra, he had told that it's a nice opportunity for me to associate with various saintly persons, that I'm going to the forest. So, Paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkrutam. Both these activities were done by Ramachandra during his 14 years of exile. He protected the saintly persons, sages like Sharabhanga, Sutikshna. He met all of them and other sages who had seek shelter of him. And he also destroyed the demons. Both these activities the Lord performed. And for this sake, Agastya Rishi knew that since Rama had to face many terrible demons in the future, therefore, Agastya Rishi, he gave him a bow, a sword, and two quivers, one each for Rama and Lakshmana. And these quivers could produce unlimited arrows. So these were the verses that we had planned to discuss today. So today we primarily saw The opulence of Ramachandra. Which opulence? The opulence of renunciation, vairagya, detachment. And as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, about him also, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also we hear, Vairagya Vidya Nija Bhakti Yoga. So we see all these great personalities, especially Ramachandra, is teaching us that uh, what is more important is not to get attached to position, not to get attached to name and fame. What is more important is our activities. A leader is not because of his position, a leader is because of his action. That is what we understand from Ramachandra's activities. Even though he left Ayodhya and went to the forest, he continued to do the duty of a king, that is to give protection to the saintly people and to also to destroy the demons who are creating problems for everybody. So this is what we understand from Ramachandra. So one of the six opulences of the Lord, that is Vairagya, Ramachandra has displayed it very nicely. And Srila Prabhupada says that, you know, Ramachandra displayed this opulence of renunciation, and he, you know, Krishna has created this whole world, but he does not claim proprietorship. If we, Prabhupada gives this example, if we construct a big building, just outside the building we put a board, oh, this building belongs to such and such a person. We put a name plate, isn't it? That means we claim proprietorship. But look at this entire material world. Everything is created and owned by the Supreme Lord, but the Lord does not claim any such proprietorship. This is his opulence of renunciation. He's fully detached. And Ramachandra is also teaching us that this material world is not our final destination. Therefore, we should not get attached to anything in this material world, isn't it? We should actually aim to utilize everything that comes by Krishna's mercy, whatever comes to our life. We utilize everything, use it for spiritual advancement. And our real destination is to go back to the spiritual world. And for that, Vairagya, what is unnecessary, we should become detached from it. And what is required for Bhakti Yoga, we should accept that. That is the principle of surrender as taught by the great devotees. So, with this, we come to the end of today's session. I thank all of you for your time. I hope you are liking these sessions of uh, based on Ramayana. The idea is we are going to celebrate Ramanavami on Sunday, and before the Lord appears on the day of Ramanavami, we should meditate upon the Lord. We should imbue our consciousness, fill our consciousness with the meditations on the wonderful qualities and activities of Lord Ramachandra. And in that way, develop our consciousness. And with a very bright consciousness, we should be able to welcome Lord Ramachandra on the day of Sri Ramanavami. सियावर रामचंद्र की जय. श्री वाल्मीकि रामायण आदि काव्य की जय. जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय.
Jai
हरे कृष्ण.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare
Krishna
Krishna
Hare
Prabhu.
Krishna
Thank you.
Thank you,
Hare
Prabhu. Hare
Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhuji.